Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel, and I am the Starlight Witch. Today, I want to tell you all about my month of July. The month of July was actually kind of a really good month. May and June were a little bit challenging. I actually struggled a lot with my mental health and with keeping up with my practices and my hobbies and like all of the good stuff. I struggled. So July was kind of a month to get back into things, to get back on top of things, and just to really um get my shit together. It was just a month to get my shit together and to recover. And I think that I actually did that um, very much. There was a lot happening for me, let's say, behind the scenes. Um, I did get going in some personal projects. I really recovered with my practice and got my mental health in check. And I'm just gonna I'm just gonna call it a good month of recovery for me. I have set the intention that August is going to be even better. It's going to be for going farther and doing more and just figuring things out on just more, really better. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I have my window open because, well, it's still summer and it's hot. And there's some helicopters flying by. So yeah, there might be a little bit of noise, but it's all good. Okay, so let's get started. I have my planner here, and I want to show you all the books that I have been reading. I'm gonna have to move these a little bit. Do-do-do. Um, okay, well, yeah. This is my planner. In case you haven't seen it, I've shown it, at least this spread, I've shown it in all of my previous monthly wrap ups. And I was here at the end of June. If you want to see what I think about all the other books, then you can watch my previous monthly wrap ups. But this was the last book that I read in June. And then I read 5 books on July. So July was a really good reading month for me, and August is being great. I already read 2 books. They're not here yet, but um, I need to update these. I need to update this spread because I finished book 29 yesterday, which means that I'm almost at my goal of 30 books. It's a rather shy goal to call it somehow because I've really struggled with reading in past years, and um, I guess that I just wasn't there mentally, and yeah. I don't really want to get into detail, but I was not reading as much as I normally did or enjoyed in many years before in my life. So I was going for a kind of a cautious goal here, and I'm pretty much there because these 2 spots have already been filled in August. So let's talk about the books that I did read. And as you can see, they are basically from 2 different series. I discovered Kingfisher with this book right here. And I loved it so much that I decided to to read her other books. And of course, I had to go with Paladin's Grace. Now, this is a series that so far has 4 books out. It's called The Saint of Steel, but it's meant to be a 7-book series. I read on a social media post that she is aiming to get book number 5 out by December of this year, so I'm really looking forward to it. So the series is not complete, but it's actually really, really great. This is a fantasy series, and it's based around a group of 7 paladins. Each book is focused on a different paladin, and well, yeah, they were devoted to the Saint of Steel. But the saint died. Nobody knows how, nobody knew that that could even happen in the first place. So, when this happens, it takes everyone by surprise. Everyone is shocked, and all of the paladins um, they kind of went insane. Some of them died. Some of them went completely insane, berserk, some in a violent way, some others just like um, they really lost their minds. Some others were very violent, and they had to be stopped, and so on and so forth. So, after the Saint of Steel's death, only 7 paladins um, survived. Only 7 of them survived the death of their god. And so each of these books is focused on a different paladin. The first one is focused on Stephen, and I really, really, truly enjoy this book. I really did. I've actually really loved all of them. They, I mean, I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but this was a lot better than I was expecting. And it was just really great. It really was. I have a very soft spot for Steven, and I don't know how to talk about this book without giving spoilers. With nothing that I've said so far is a spoiler. It's all very easily found on the summary, the synopsis of the book. Um, so nothing has been a spoiler, but this is really good. It's a fantasy. It's also a romance, and I really enjoyed the romance. Now, this is adult, so it does have a little bit of smut here and there. Not a lot, which is great for me. I have to say that I think I prefer my romance books to be what they call a closed door romance. So you don't really get smut in there. I just prefer it that way. I don't really consider myself to be a prude, but I really prefer to focus on the plot and the connection between the characters and the character development. I don't really care for smut. If I'm being completely honest, please don't hate me. I have nothing against the people who love smut, but I'm just not one of them. So it surprised me to see just how much I really enjoyed this book, including those parts. And I think that the main reason for that is because, besides being rather realistic, which many romance books out there are not exactly, even when it comes to smut, but also due to the fact that it's very, very funny. It's just hilarious. I found myself laughing out loud while reading all of these books, and it was just fantastic. It really was. It was just great. I am truly, truly loving this series. Um, Steven is absolutely adorable. He falls in love with a great female character. She's a perfumer. Her name is Grace, and she has a polecat, and I am in love. And it was great. I loved it. This was like 2 introverts falling in love, and it was great. The story that revolves around the fantasy bits, it's also really good. I was very invested in it. There's a little bit of a murder mystery kind of thing going on. Um, and of course, it's them trying to figure out how to go on, how to live life after their saint has died. So it can get very emotional. It can get really profound in places. And I have to say that I think I've discovered a new favorite author for me, because I truly, really, truly loved all the books that I've read so far by T. Kingfisher. Of course, after being done with that, I jumped into the second book, which is Paladin's Strength. These, I mean, I cannot really say which one I enjoyed the most, because I've just loved all of them. They're 5 stars for me all around. To be fair and honest, I'm not stingy with my 5 stars. I'm not like overly analytic of everything that happens in a book. I don't have like a rating system or anything. For the most part, I pretty much rate them um, based on my enjoyment. Of course, I do care about, how good the plot is, and the character development and all of these things. If there is like an interesting magic system, or if the characters, not just the main ones, but also the side characters, are very developed as well. Of course, I do keep these things in mind, but I'm not very technical or stingy with my star rating system. However, I can tell you that I would recommend these books to anyone who loves fantasy. So, yes, Paladin Strength is based on another of the paladins, of course. You kind of meet them, most of them, throughout all the different books. In Paladin's Grace, of course, it's focused on Stephen, but you do meet these two guys, and they're both hilarious. And I just really enjoyed it. And this one was even funnier than this one, if that is possible. The paladin that we're focused here is named Isvan, and he's kind of a brute, and and he's just really hilarious. Like I mean, I don't know what else to say. He falls in love with Clara, and she is sort of a nun, but the religious systems that are in this particular world, in these particular novels, are not exactly the same as the ones in our world. So, you know, she is a nun that has not taken vows of celibacy, and is not the same that you would expect from a nun in our world. And this was so hilarious. I cannot even. I loved Clara. She's fantastic. Isvan is just a riot. And I just really love these books. Like, I don't know how much I can say without spoiling everything, but it's just good. And they do have a little bit of what's the term? Mm-mm-mm. They do have an overlapping story, a background story that unfolds throughout all the books. But each book, of course, has its own. Um, they have their own quests, their own missions, their own things that happen in this particular book. But there is a story, a bigger story that develops throughout all the books. Then I jumped into Paladin's Hope. This is a gay kind of romance. Um, the first two are male and female. This one is gay, is two guys. And the paladin that we focus on is Galen. And he has to be the funniest of the whole bunch. He really is. We actually meet the character that he pairs up with on the first book. So yeah, you do see these characters coming in and out. So there are mentions of the characters from the previous books on each one that passes, and I really enjoy that. So even though they're kind of standalones, I definitely would read them as a series and in order. And this one had one of the most um, enjoyable, maybe, particular stories, because like I said, each book has a different plot, like a particular adventure that they're all going in. And this one was my favorite of them all. It is also the shortest book of the bunch. um, but it does have a great story. It was so funny. It really was. This author, I mean, I love that woman. That's all I'm going to say. I highly recommend her books to anyone. I'm really kind of a wuss, and she also writes a lot of horror. So I don't know if I'll get to her horror books, but these ones are particularly fantasy. So if you love fantasy, these are a must. And I just love the whole thing. And them being paladins is actually hilarious because they they basically have these sort of martyr mentalities, and they kind of give themselves a hard time for the stuff that they think, and their desires and this kind of stuff. So I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. Okay. I just really did. I have not jumped into book 4 just yet because I'm waiting for it. I have a whole placed in my library, but it looks like it's going to take forever. The amount of weeks that I'm gonna have to wait for that last book, which is not the last, but it's the last one that has been released so far. But whenever I think about how long I still need to wait, I kind of want to cry a little. I think that, when libraries purchase a book, they should be given an infinite amount of copies so none of us have to wait for other people to finish those books. But oh my god, it's just so good. If you like fantasy, and it's not exactly D&D, but of course paladins are within the different races that you can play on D&D. So if you kind of like these things, you're going to love these books. And she is hilarious. This author, amazing, honestly. um, I still don't know how I feel about the horror thing. I haven't read her horror books yet, but I think that she is a new favorite author for me, and at least anything that she publishes that's fantasy is gonna be an auto buy for me. That's how I'm gonna put it. And then I continued on with the series. I started this one years ago. Um, and I didn't continue it because I basically hit a reading slump, and I was reading like three or five, maybe 10 books a year, something like that. So I didn't actually continue it. But this time I did read books 2 and 3. This is a quartet. It has 4 books, all 4 of them have been released. It is by Kerri Maniscalco, and I've really enjoyed them. They're YA though, but these are historical fictions, and they are also um, a little bit of a murder mystery, I like to say. They're based on Victorian London, as you can imagine, because the first one is called Stalking Jack the Ripper. And I did talk about that one last month, so let's jump into books 2 and 3. The second is called Hunting Prince Dracula, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I guess a little something that I can say about these books is that the main character is a girl called Audrey Rose Wadsworth, and she is a forensics apprentice. Um, Her uncle is a professional forensic doctor or professional that in this first novel was working hand in hand with Scotland Yard to um, try and capture Jack the Ripper, right? So they actually had the opportunity of analyzing, checking the corpses that he left behind, the victims that he left behind. On hunting Prince Dracula, she goes to the Bran Castle in Romania, and at this time it was the home of a forensics school, which is really interesting. And a lot of the facts that she uses as plot points on her novels are actually historical facts, and that school did actually exist. And we accompany her and her love interest, Thomas Creswell. I love the guy, honestly. I think he's one of my favorite YA book boyfriends so far. The guy is really goals. Love him. And they attend these forensics school, and there is someone there, like there are a series of murders happening there, where someone is basically replicating the murders that Vlad the Impaler used to do um, many, many years ago. So it gets very interesting. You get very into the mythology of Romania, the concept of Dracula. All of these things get talked about a lot in this novel, and I really enjoy that. It was such a good book. And then we have Escaping from Houdini, book number 3. And this time they are basically on a boat. I can't remember the first name. I think it was Armis Etruria. It was that again was a historical boat of the time, and they were traveling from London to New York, because her uncle, the professional forensics doctor, was invited to go to New York to analyze, check out, some murders that were happening there. So this happens on the journey of them going from London to New York. It happens entirely on a boat, and I think that overall, this was my favorite theme of the book so far. There is a carnival on this book. It's called the Midnight Carnival, and they have these different performances every night. But of course, as with all of the stories in this series, there is a murderer on the loose, a career murderer, and this time they are staging all of these different murders based on tarot cards, which is really cool. That's why you see all those cards that she's holding behind her back, because they use tarot cards as a theme, and playing cards as well, um, in this book. So you get an illusionist. Of course, you get Harry Houdini as a character. You get a carnival. They're trapped in a boat, and it's rather cool. It's rather cool. I'm not sure that I agree with like all of the interpretations of the tarot cards that they gave in the book, but I overlooked that entirely, and for the most part, and just enjoyed the rest of the story, and I really really liked it. So it's pretty cool. If you like historical fiction and those murder mysteries and would like to read about a girl studying forensic sciences, or if you enjoy the occasional YA novel, I highly recommend this series. And I won't be talking a lot about these other 2 books, but I do want to say that I started book number 28 was um, Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer. Well, it's actually the series is called Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, and the first book is called The Sword of Summer. It's by Rick Riordan. the same writer of the Percy Jackson series and the King Chronicles, which are books that I talked about in my first monthly wrap up, because I did read a book by him, Demigods and Magicians, and I really enjoyed it. This one is focused on Norse mythology, as you can probably get from the title. And yeah, it's just a really enjoyable story. I loved it just as much as I did the others. So I'm eagerly waiting to continue on this series. Again, I have book 2 and 3 on hold in the library for some day when, the people are finished with them, then I can jump into them. And book 29 was actually the fourth from the series. It finally became available yesterday from the library, and I binged it. Like, I read the entire thing yesterday. So, yes, it was really good. It was really good. That one is called Capturing the Devil. And this time they are in the US. They start in New York and then they move to Chicago. And it's a really interesting story. Very, very interesting. And it changes a little bit um, of the things that they established in book 1. Like, they discover some secrets that change some of the facts from that book. So, really, really interesting. So I will talk about those a lot more on my August wrap up, because I did read them in August and not really on July, which is what we're here for. But yes, they're so, so good. Now let's show you my journals. This is the journal that I've been working with for most of this year, and it's finally finished. I did finish it right before the beginning of Leah season. Um, let's see. Oh, yeah, it was Gemini season. If you've watched my previous wrap ups, then you would see that I was very, very far behind in my journal practice. Super far behind, and I had a bunch of incomplete pages, blank pages of stuff that I wanted to do in there, but never actually came around to do it. And I just really wanted to wrap it up nicely. I am a Taurus and I do enjoy finishing things up, finishing what I start. So I did do my best to really get back on my journaling practice, because it is good for me and I really do enjoy it in many different aspects, like decorating some of the pages, because I don't really do this every day. But when I get to sit down and play with my papers and my stickers and some pictures and my pens and my washies and all of this kind of stuff, is really, really good for my inner child. And it is playtime for me. I really do enjoy it. So this is actually something that is very good for me on many levels. So I did sit down and I back planned some of these things, especially the moon readings, because I was super duper behind on my new moon and full moon readings. And this is not something that I would have normally done before, but I have envelopes, like, that trend that Lisa Papez started with, doing all of these monthly envelopes. I am also doing that this year. I have my monthly cards, and I also did envelopes for the new moon and the full moon. And so I sat down and I opened my envelopes and I wrote little summaries of everything in here. And I did that for all of the readings that I was very far behind on. So I ended up with a lot less empty pages. I did end up gluing a few pages together so they wouldn't be blank anymore, because I was not gonna do those readings. Like I had a Bialtana spread. I intended to do a Bialtana reading, but that never happened, and it's not Bialtana anymore. In fact, it's Lunaza now. And I intended also to do a Litha rating, which also did not happen. And so I kind of just went and glued those pages together because there was no point on doing that anymore. I still do have a few that are completely blank, but I'm just not going to worry about that. But yeah, I did go back and do my rating. Here I just glued these affirmation for July. And then, well, there is my daily spreads. Um, I try to do this daily, and the keyword here being try. I don't manage to do these every single day, and so yeah. But basically, my practice starts with a little gratitude list. I always start by writing down things that I'm grateful for. Then I do a little bit of my brain dump, aka things that are on my mind at the time, at that moment, just so I can get them out of my brain. Um, it is funny how putting these things on paper actually can do something to get them out of your head, even if only momentarily. So, these two things, particularly, are just really good for my mental health on a daily basis. Then I do a little affirmation that I get from a calendar that I got as a present from Hay House in one of the orders that I did. And then I do a little daily pull, a little practice tracker, a little notes. And I have been doing these since April this year. I wish that I could say that I was more consistent before, but that would be a lie. This is the first year that I'm really um, being consistent with journaling, and I'm really proud of myself for that because it is good. And this is also, it works as a tiny creative outlet for me because I do these little scripts and I do tiny doodles of the cards that I get. So this is also a tiny, very tiny creative outlet for me that I can do every day. This was my rating for the full moon in Capricorn. When I actually do them on time, I also pull cards that are relevant for that rating. I kind of want to do a video this Saturday showing you how I do my moon readings. And yeah, the month of July was actually like, sometimes I do long form journaling if I feel like I need to do it that day. But yeah, the month of July was actually really good for my journaling. Here I did a Mercury retrograde spread. This one here is by the Tarot Guild of Australia. And I really got a lot of very useful information from here. And I think it looks really good. Here we can see a picture of my cards. I love having these pictures of my ratings here. Normally, I just would have them on my phone, but I end up forgetting um, basically what they were and what they were talking about and all of these kind of stuff. So after a while, they just become pictures of pretty cards that are on my phone. So actually printing them and putting them in my journal keeps them with the context of the reading. I know, what was the prompt for each and every one. I do put my interpretations here and all of that. And one of the reasons why I want to show you how I do my monthly readings is because I always look how the transit triggers my chart, my personal astrological chart. And of course, I did that with Mercury retrograde too. So, yeah, this was a really good month for for my journaling, and I'm actually very proud of myself that I kind of went back and filled up the things that I could and glued up the things that did not make sense for me um, to redo. And I have been uh, more consistent ever since. So since that journal is like fully finished, is full, I started a new one. This one is from Notebook Therapy and is their Lemon Love Suki collection. Um, it has these golden lemons everywhere, and I've always loved the color yellow, but I think that right now I'm having a little love affair with it. It's just I love it. I was so inspired to start this that I even do a little more effort on this introductory page, which I normally don't do, but I did put a little more effort in there, and I do have here July 2. We'll see how long it lasts. I never know, but it's more or less about 3 months, I would say. And yeah, we start with my cover for Leah season, which I really enjoy. It's very busy, it's very extra, but I do love it, and I super enjoyed the whole process of making these. Again, the main reason why I do this is because it's playtime. I get to play with my papers and my stickers and my stamps and just my washies and just about everything. So I do love my extra over the top Leo season cover, and yep, just good. Then here, I haven't yet put the decks that I'm using here because I don't know if I'll be using the same decks for the whole season. So I'm gonna probably be doing this last minute. And I did do a spread for Leo season. I love the spreads, the zodiacal spreads by the Tarot Professor. And yep, I did do a little reading for Leo season, and these are the decks that I'm mostly using so far. So we have the Desert Illuminations Tarot and the uh, Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle, which is amazing. These are the decks that I have been working with, and basically everything else remains the same, except that, of course, this is a new journal, and yeah. This was my new moon in Leo reading. And yeah. So not every day. I haven't really been writing or journaling every day. I did start to pick weekly cards from the Alchemy of the Spirit Oracle and the Little Frog's Guide to Self Care. And I started recording them here, which is something that I didn't do on the other planner. So that is something new, but I've really been enjoying it. As you can see, I'm still a little behind. I haven't done my August cover here, and this is of course meant to be the Lunasa reading, which I still haven't done, but we are still on Lunasa, so I am going to sit down with these before the week is over, and I'm actually going to do it. So yes, and we're here. this was on Tuesday, so I'm already behind. But again, I am trying to be flexible with myself and um, not really pressure myself to be perfect with my practice. And that has been key to being able to stay consistent, because if I force myself to do these every single day, or to back plan or stuff like that, to write something every single day, that I just know is not going to happen. So before we dive into the decks, which is of course the reason why most of you will be here, a couple of other random favorites are well, I'm late to the party as usual, but I did finally fall into the huge rabbit hole of K-pop demon hunters. I watched that movie for the first time during the month of July, and I've watched it every other day for weeks since. I'm sorry, but I don't have I listen. I got no chill. I just don't. I have two settings. One is I don't give a fuck, and the other one is I'm totally obsessed. And this one, I'm totally obsessed. Like I get it. This was released months ago, and everyone already went through it. Good for you. I just fell down this damn rabbit hole, and I am loving every minute of it. I am obsessed with everything. Love the movie. I want the tiger. I've been listening and singing to those songs like over and over and over and over again, and I don't see this stopping anytime soon. I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon, and I'm here for it. I just am. So, yeah. Ta-da! And what else can I tell you? Okay, so if you saw my wrap up from last month, then you'll probably see that I started crocheting. So I've decided to make a blanket. I found this pattern. I saw this lady on TikTok that's using it to make a really nice coat, but because I'm just a beginner and I didn't really spend money on nice yarn, I decided to make it a blanket instead. So I am doing these granny squares with some of my favorite colors. These ones I did, um, these two colorways I did between May and June, and in July I started a third colorway. And I think it's my favorite so far, but I have felt that way about every single colorway. I haven't made as many of these as I want to make so far because, well, being back with my practice and being a bit more focused on the channels has me spending less time doing other things. But I have continued crocheting and I'm going to continue. And now I have a third colorway of my crocheting. So, yeah, I don't know if you're interested, but if you are, then that is my crochet update. And so now we can get into the decks. Okay, we should start probably with the decks that I got. So, in the month of July, I got the Little Squid Cake Marseille Tarot. I have been interested on learning Marseille lately. That was not something that I wanted to do before. Not really. I've been happy just being an RWS girly. But I decided recently that I wanted to learn Marseille. And there are many decks out there, peepish decks, that I really like. And I think it's because of that that I decided that suddenly got an interest in Marseille decks, right? And I've heard everyone saying that this is a great deck to learn with. And I saw that Lisa Papes had a deck study with her members. and stuff like that. So because I do like the colors of these, I've decided to get it, and I hear that the guidebook is actually fantastic for learning Marseille. So I got myself a copy of these. I haven't started yet to study Marseille, but you know, I decided to get it because I'm such a mood kind of person. So it's better for me to have it. So when I feel like I really want to dive into this, then it's already here. I just need to pick it up from my shelves, right? So yeah, it's still in order because I do intend to do a study with these um, before I actually use it for ratings, and I'm probably going to be doing the unlocking the deck kind of thing, writing keywords and things on it. So yeah, I got myself a copy of the little Squid Cake Marseille Tarot. Love the colors. I was surprised to see that it has a little bit of a zombie kind of thing going on, but I like it. I do like it. Um, I got, I don't think that I've shown this so far, but I got a copy of the Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards. This was a second-hand purchase. I found it for $5 on my second-hand app, and I really like it. I first saw this deck. Well, I've seen it for a long time. And to be honest, I'm not very much of a fan of the art style. It's very old school and cheesy. But I got the Witch's Kitchen Oracle by the same creators and the same designer to use it in one of my goddess practices. And I really enjoyed working with the deck. So I decided to give this one a chance. I haven't worked with it yet, but I really like having it here. And yeah, you know, the same as with the Squid Cake Marseille. Whenever I'm ready, this is here and I can just pick it up and work with it. And I'm just, happy to have it. The person who put these up for sale, I don't think that they used it much, is basically brand new. So I'm very happy with that. And yep, it's a good one. And as cheesy as it is, I'm actually looking forward to working with it. This is the Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards by. Sorry, there's an ice cream truck passing by. Thank you. This is by Barbara Michael John Free and Flavia Kate Peters and illustrated by Richard Crooks. And I keep it on this bag that was absolutely perfect for it. Like, it matches the bags just beautifully. Okay. Another secondhand purchase is the Good Karma Tarot. Now, this was again one of those many decks that I told myself I didn't need, but I kept seeing it and eventually changed my mind. I don't have many modern decks. I barely have any at all, actually. So, I like the art, I like the colors, especially the colors. So I decided to give this one a try. This one is still in order. I haven't worked with it. These are the bags. I really hate these double tray box situation. So I'm going to make a bag for it. And yeah, that tray is going to end up in the trash, which is not easy for me. I have letting go of things issue, but that tray is going in the trash. But yeah, this is a modern deck. I think it's rather beautiful. I love the colors of this deck. I won't spend long here because I'm pretty sure that everyone has seen it. But I love that they have tattoos and the colorful hair. Um, I just really like the vibe on this deck altogether. So I'm going to etch it. I'm thinking on a pink, like this kind of pink. Um, I think the most obvious choice would be Jello, like the bags, to match the bags. But I like to do contrasting colors, so I think I want to do pink instead. So if you fetch this deck, let me know what colors have you done, and if you think that pink will be a good match. But I'm happy that I have it. Nonetheless, it was also like $5, so I'm really happy with my purchase. Yeah. And the rest of the decks are all brand new. I got this one, the Botanicals deck. Um, this one is from Amazon. It was the only place in the UK that I saw that was selling this deck. And yeah, I'm making a very conscious decision of not spending a penny on Amazon, to be honest. If you've read what I write on my um, description boxes, I think they're called. If you ever read my description boxes, you would notice that I usually don't share links of everything that I mention in my videos. Like, I only put the links for indie decks because I want to make sure that people can buy them from the genuine places, that they won't be getting a bootleg copy of a deck. So I always make sure to leave genuine decks for indie creators and indie decks on my description boxes, but I normally don't share um, links for mass market decks because, well, I trust that people will find um, the best retailer whenever they are, because we're not all in the same place, right? I live in the UK, but I can see that most of the people that watch my videos live in the US, and of course, there are people from other places. So I trust that all of you are finding the best places for you to get these mass market decks. But I'm not part of the um, Amazon affiliate program, and I do not intend to be part of it. I have been very vocal, especially on my Instagram, about everything, the genocide that is happening in Palestine. So I have taken measures to boycott Amazon and other places that are on the official list for boycotts. So, yeah, I am really, really trying to step away completely from Amazon. I know that it's not always possible. It's not possible for everyone for many reasons. Availability can be one, um, affordability can be other. This is a very nuanced conversation, but if you can do it yourself, I will plead with you to at least try it. It's not always doable. I mean, I got this one from Amazon, but please do support small businesses and local creators. I am going to start posting links on my description boxes from the small businesses that I get my decks from, if I can. But obviously, if you're international, then please search for your um, small businesses and retailers if you can. And I also canceled my Prime subscription, and I canceled Audible, which is the one that hurts the most. But I made the switch to Libro FM, and if you would like to do the same, they have the same prices. They are doing their best to match what Audible offers, so the people can actually buy from them instead. So I would leave my referral link on the description box if you'd like to switch to Libro FM if you listen to audiobooks as well. It's the same price as Audible, so I highly recommend it. And I've started using it, and I'm loving it. So, yeah. So, after that little parenthesis there, I got this deck, like I said, from Amazon. And as usual, they are being very disappointing. This deck is done um, in a very eco conscious way. This is by Chronicle books. And the box is, well, all paper, and it doesn't have a coating on it, it's just paper. And as it happens with many things Amazon, this box was, well, it's not only all dinged and bent, and, well, not bent, what's the word? Well, yeah, it has a bunch of bumps and scratches and dings. Here, the paper is actually broken, but it was also dirty. It was very dirty, and as I was trying to clean it, I actually ruined the paper a little bit, so I'm kind of mad at myself. So, yeah, another reason not to buy from Amazon, but whatever. This is the Botanicals deck, 70 plants and flowers to enhance your life, herbal recipes and rituals, and this is by Leah Moth, and it is published by Chronicle Books. The box is actually like a drawer pull out. It has a finger cutout. There was no plastic in these at all whatsoever, which is great. But yeah, it has a tiny guidebook. I haven't worked with this yet, but I have wanted it since it was published. And yeah, the cardstock is also not fantastic. It already has a bit of a bow. It's warped a little bit, even though I have not worked with these. So it came this way on the mail, and it's already like these two corners are a little bit raised. It's not the best, but it's a beautiful deck, and I haven't seen anything like this in a while. This is, of course, my favorite card with the roses. It has pictures of the plants on the front. They are photographs, not illustrations, so it's rather beautiful. It has the name here. It has an intention, which is what I would use mostly as the divination sort of message. And it has a little bit of folklore, lore, and things in here. It has a ritual. Um, it does have a little bit of herbology. It tells you what you can use the plant for herbology. So it's a rather unique deck, and I actually think it's beautiful. It's it's very different. And it's not only flowers, but it also has just plants. But this looks like it could be from the table of a herbalist, you know? And I actually like that about this. It's very different from most of the herbal decks, herbology decks that I've seen so far. And I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since I saw it. I can't remember if it was on a Hot Takes by Lisa and Danny, or if it was in Priscilla's video from Priscilla's Tarot Corner, or Eloine LeFay. They all have videos with upcoming releases, and I always watch them. I can't remember where I saw this deck, but yeah, I've wanted it ever since, and it's very different, and I like it. So yeah, that is one of my newest decks. The Botanicals deck. Then I also got this little gem here. This is the Agatha All Along Tarot. This is by Inside Editions. I really loved the Agatha All Along series. It's one of my favorites that Marvel has done. So I was very excited about this deck, and I got it. I filmed a very long deep dive walkthrough and pairings and everything for my showcase Sunday. And I don't know what it is that happened, but the file got corrupted, or some of the files, because I had so many issues filming that walkthrough. Like, so many. I cannot even begin. I had storage issues and issues with my microphone and issues with corrupted files, and it was a struggle. It was a struggle, and after weeks of trying to get that video out there, um, I just decided to erase it, to delete it. So that video doesn't exist anymore. I couldn't export it after spending many hours editing it. So it's a shame, because I really enjoyed making that video, and I enjoyed the pairings, the combinations, everything that yeah, that came up when I was filming it. So it's very disappointing for me. However, well, never say never, and if there is enough interest, I will refilm that video someday, maybe. But for now, it now belongs to digital trash, wherever the deleted files go. So yeah, this deck is not usually my style. I'm not particularly fond of the illustration style or anything like that, but this is one of those things that I have because I love the um, how's it called? The base material. Yeah, I just love the series. So for that reason alone, um, I'm going to have it and keep it. And I have two more decks to show you. The next one is this one. This little gem here is the Critical Role Tarot. I am completely obsessed with these guys. I discovered them sometime last year, and I am almost finished with their first campaign. They did this 10-year anniversary tarot deck, and of course, I had to have it, even though this is, again, not exactly something that I would choose um, normally. Not for anything bad, but because it's a very pippish deck. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's still in order. I want to film a walkthrough and pairings for my Showcase Sunday videos, but it is a very beautiful deck. It's based on characters from their first three campaigns. I've only watched the first one. I'm not fully done yet. I I think I am on episode 80 something out of 100 and almost 20, or around 120, so I'm almost there. I'm almost finished with that first campaign. And here they have characters from all of their campaigns. So you have Vox Machina, the Mighty Nine, and Bell's Hells. I don't really know the characters of those last two campaigns, but yeah, I'm actually excited to have this. But as you can see, it's very pippish. And I suppose that this is one of the reasons why I was interested in learning the Marseille, because I want to feel comfortable reading with pippish decks. because there are many that I really like. So yeah, I want to really get into the whole peepish deck kind of thing. So be on the lookout for a walkthrough of that one. And the last one that I want to show you is this one. This is the Magic the Gathering Oracle deck. Um, this is mass market though. It's again by Clarkson Potter. Yeah, Clarkson Potter Publishers. The same ones that did the um, Dungeons and Dragons official deck. And I have never played Magic the Gathering ever in my life, but I love fantasy. And this deck is just stunning. It has. I need to check if it's done by the same artist as the Dungeons and Dragons deck, because it's very similar. But if you love fantasy, this is definitely something that you're going to enjoy. And it has some keywords here, the name of the character on the bottom. And the keywords are not bad. You know, you can totally use this without having to go to the guidebook if you don't want to. It's still in order. I also want to film a walkthrough because I haven't seen this deck pretty much anywhere. So I'm keeping it in order for that. So look out for that as well. I want to edge mine in gold like I did with my Dungeons and Dragons. And yes. And so to end this very long video, because I have been yapping for far too long, let me show you the decks that I actually worked with during the month of July. Well, at the beginning, I started working with these ones. These were my Cancer season decks. So we have the Mermaid Tarot in one hand, the Sea Soul Journeys Oracle cards, and the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle. I like to work with my decks in triplets for some reason. Not sure what that reason is, so please don't ask me. But I do like to work with my decks in triplets. This is the Mermaid Tarot from Llewellyn. And these ones were my Cancer season decks. I do consider the Mermaid Tarot and the Whispers of the Ocean to be a match made in heaven. They're made for each other, they're divine partners, at least in my book, in my collection. And I find that even though these two are illustrated and this one is photography, the Sea Soul Journeys Oracle actually brings something very beautiful to this combination. I find that these basically gives you the main message, these expands it, and these gives you the medicine. At least in my readings, that is how they worked. They gave me rather beautiful, thoughtful, amazing readings altogether. So if you have these decks and you have never used them together, I highly recommend that you do. And if you have any of these decks but don't know what to pair them with, then may I recommend this combination or something out of this combination, because it's absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed working with these. I put this trio together last year, and even though I had different decks that I was originally going to work with for Cancer season this year, I missed these trios so much that I decided to forget about that and just bring these out. This is the best Mermaid Tarot that there is, in my not so humble opinion. And this is its divine partner. And I love working with these decks. I really, truly loved my time with them. I do love a good Lisa Robertson guidebook, which is the writer for the Mermaid Tarot. I find that The Whispers of the Ocean is also kind of very thoughtful. It's not, um, it doesn't gloss over everything. It asks you to go deeper, it asks you to reconsider. Um, it's a good one to work with. And this one is very, how to describe it? But I do find it like it gives you the medicine. It has these little phrases on the bottom. It says, "May you be exactly as you are. May you see the sublime in the everyday. May each breaking wave build your courage. May you seek out fun and connection." So it has these little messages, and it goes even deeper on the guidebook. Um, and it's so good. It's just really good. This is a fantastic combination of decks. So I can see myself pulling these out in summer every single year. And I'm not even sad about that at all. These are amazing decks to work with. My current daily pool decks are these little trio. I have the Desert Illuminations Tarot, the Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle, and this is the Compendium of Constellations Oracle. These two are mass market. This is indie and currently out of print, but I found a used copy, so, and it was like £12, so it's not like out of this world. So if you want this, do keep an eye on it. And who knows, this is by Claire Goodchild from Black and the Moon, so she might actually bring it back at some point. I have been really enjoying this combination, especially these two. I will talk more about them in my August wrap up, but the first person that I saw put this pair together was actually Sylvia from Fairlight Tarot, and she was the one who convinced me that I needed this deck, the Cowgirls and Aliens. And I think it's very safe to say that this deck is probably going to be the biggest surprise of 2025 for me, because um, it's not cheesy and campy and all the stuff that it looks like from the surface, because that's what I thought it was. That's how I would have judged it before. But after working with it, it is such a good deck. It is a really good deck, and I'm enjoying this combination so much that I actually used it for the weekly reading that I posted on my Instagram and on my second YouTube channel. So it's such a good one, and I'm gonna show you the guidebook as well on my August wrap up, because I think that the guidebook, especially for the Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle, is such a good one. Such a good one. And I also do want to show you this pairing. This is the pair that I used for my Mercury retrograde reading. And this is the Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic Tarot and the Magical Spirit Oracle. Both of these are mass market. This is by Rockpool, and this one is by Clarkson Butter Publishers. I wanted to use this pair at the beginning of the year, but again, I wasn't very good or consistent with my practice at the time. But I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. So I do feel like these decks, both of them, are very Gemini coded. And well, Mercury is the planet of communication, the ruler of Gemini. So I thought that these ones were perfect for that rating. And I do find that they are beautiful together. Like they even use the same font. Like I don't know if you can see it, but it is exactly the same font for the titles on both cards. And they do match beautifully. This one is fully illustrated, this one is collage, but it does include some illustrations. So they just work. They just do. I did trim mine a little bit because these cards are very big. They're kind of oracle size. So I trimmed mine a little bit so it would be easier for me to handle them. I thought that they didn't need um, those huge borders that they used to have. So yes, but this is a wonderful pairing. Not only do they look amazing together, but they read amazing together. Like what I got for my ratings with these was amazing. Um, this is a deeper deck than it looks like, and this one is very original. The guidebook even includes like songs and crystals and uh, what else? Smells. It's very different. It's very different. Um, but yes, I do enjoy this combination quite a lot, and I loved working with it very much. I can see myself pulling these out. I don't know at what time it might be, but I can see myself working with these together in many occasions to come because these are just wonderful together. The colors, the vibes, they are both a little bit retro, especially this one. But yes, they're just chef's kiss. They have animals, they're just. And, besides the title and the keywords in here, they also sometimes have messages here in the cards. So I really, truly enjoy working with these two together. So, yeah. I've been talking for too long. So I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for watching me yapping for an entire hour. Um, for seeing what I've been doing through these months. I do love sharing with you guys. And yeah, if you find anything of value on anything that I'm sharing, please do like and subscribe. It would really help me with my channel and it will help me grow my channel. I am launching a second channel where I'll be doing readings for people. It's called Guided by Your North Star. I haven't posted a video yet, but I have started sharing my weekly guidance readings for you there. And I will be launching a video probably somewhere around the new moon when Mercury is no longer retrograde. Thankfully, that ends this year, but I don't know. Um, I might be inspired and share something a little bit before that. I also opened a Ko-fi. So if you'd like to support my channel or support me as a creator, then I'll leave my Ko-fi link in the description box. None of these is expected, but it's always appreciated. So if you find inclined to support me as a content creator and as a reader, I'll leave that link on the description box. But otherwise, I do have some more fun content coming soon. And thank you for being here. Just Thank you for watching and liking and commenting for those of you who take the time to do so. I love sharing with all of you and talking to all of you. So thank you so much. Bye bye.